Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
William, did you say it's a shame that I'm going to show up and ruin everybody's good time? That's hilarious. God damn it. This camera. We're in a kitchen of sorts, but we're not going to be cooking today except for court, and we got to get going on it because I'll tell you something, folks. We have quite the day ahead of us. All of my Florida people, you need to be safe, please.
Matthew
Worry
Lampier here.
about you, and Ryan Hall, y'all, has me all in a flutter. We'll be back cooking in the kitchen tomorrow. Again, I live in a real house, and so when I cook in the kitchen on stream, it actually takes over the entire kitchen and house, and if other people are here, it's not feasible. It's not feasible. Anyways, I think a reminder, today is Amazon Deals Day or something like that. I don't know what that is. I ordered a new phone case and a new band for my Fitbit so that I stop getting rashes. So, but I didn't get a deal, which pissed me off. But what can you do? Yeah. Let's get going. Hi, Casey Carey. How are you? Also, it's chilly, it's wet here today. I know I shouldn't complain about my weather when obviously we have serious weather situations going on elsewhere, but my toes are cold. Also, if you care, I added some new things to my Amazon wish list. Chris Engleby will like that I added coffee back to my list. And a few other things if you want to see what I like. It's cool. Okay, let's watch some court. Judge is not in a good mood. He's just pissed off today.
Live next door to each other. We share a back fence property line.
Okay,
We
I
live-
see. Well,
Or adjacent.
I misstated that. You live in a manner where your properties abut each other, whether it's next door or back to back or something
Correct.
like that. That's my understanding of it.
And just to clarify too, the fence is not theirs.
Okay,
It's my fence.
it's a fence.
I built it, I paid for
Okay.
It's my period fence. I paid for it. I built it. I will menstruate on it when I want.
So,
That probably sounded so gross. Christopher Engleby, you. That's who. I'm talking about you. I finally got around to updating my Amazon wish list. William, if we've seen this before, I don't think so, but they were here 2 weeks ago asking, and then they got a continuance. So we shall see. Thank you, Christopher Engleby. Whew.
give me a second.
Does everyone have their coffee this morning? I added a new Bubba mug to my wish list just in case just thinking about it, you know, it's my color, but
Remind me who's blowing the leaves. Is that you, Mr. Dean? Okay.
blowing the leaves.
So
Oh,
Mr.
shit.
Dean has been blowing leaves, which is kind of, as far as I can tell, creating the problem. There's been things going back and forth. Both parties appearing to threatening to kick each other in various places. And and so now you're both asking for protection orders. And on the
They're both asking for protection orders, specifically with a leaf blower clause. I love Texas. I was there last year. Yeah, it was last year. I would love to go back to Texas anytime, baby. Anytime. Love Texas. But it's hot as fuck, or it was when I was there. Seriously though, what is going on here? Are these people blowing leaves at each other's property? Get a fucking life. These people of this age, I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous. Like, this is your taxes, folks. Chris! Yay! Look at you gifting memberships. I love it when it goes gift. William, I think you highly underestimate the creativity. I think if you have a decently powered leaf blower and some gumption, you can get leaves pretty far.
no temporaries were entered in either case. And so in the last 2 weeks, or when we were here last time till now, how have things gone out there?
First of all, I did ask for a temporary
I know.
order. It was denied at
I
the
know.
time
That's
until
what-
after he looked at it.
That's why I
There
say
was a
no.
problem. There was a problem somewhere in the middle of the week. Mr. Smith has been videotaping me over the fence in my underwear. And I found that to be a little disturbing, especially whenever he posted it on the court papers.
You're telling me there's photographs of this man in his underwear? First of all, don't go outside in your underwear if you don't want people taking pictures of you in your underwear. I remember when my ex, I mean, he still walks around naked, but I remember when we first moved in together and I was like, don't you want to shut the blinds? Like, you know, people are around. He's like, if they're fucking looking, that's what they're gonna see. I was like, oh, okay, well, there we go. And that's the way he lives his life. But seriously, people fucking ignore your neighbors. Do you know how easy that is? Do you know how simple it is? Okay? Ignoring your neighbors is a millennial's birthright, I suppose. It's the way it is. It seems to me that, like, first of all, is that a big stick or a didgeridoo that he's brought to court?
So I let that go, but then I started looking at it after I got the sample from the courts here of the videos that he's been taking. And all of the videos that were in there were simply me picking up tennis balls for my dog. And then I noticed that my grandson was riding the quad. The fellow that's in there that's doing it with the helmet, that was in the middle of July. He came up from Texas with my granddaughter. She's 11 years old, and Mr. Smith.
Okay, so look, I'm right here.
I'm
You don't
sorry,
need to
I'm
yell
sorry,
at
I
me.
get a little
Okay.
excited because he's
Yeah, I
taking-
don't, you guys are yelling at each other out there. I don't want anyone yelling at me.
Okay. Mr. Smith was taking pictures of my grandson riding the quad, and in the background, you could see her bedroom. and they have 2 windows in her bedroom, so you could see right through the bedroom. All you have to do is just pinch that stuff and spread it out, and you can see right through it. Mr. Smith also, when I reviewed some of the other videos, Mr. Smith is 20 feet away from my back sliding glass door, taking a video of me. All of these occasions, Your Honor, have been Mr. Smith approaching me first.
Courtney, Mr. Smith approaching in his underwear. No, wait. Mr. Smith is approaching the man in his underwear in the backyard. That sounds like a knockoff version of Clue that your parents didn't check first, and then you had a lot of questions afterwards. Like the pervert version, perhaps. Courtney, be safe. We're so glad to see you. I've been watching He Who Shall Not Be Named, who banned me one time. But why do these people fight like this? Isn't it so easy to ignore your neighbors? I think it's so easy to ignore your neighbors. Also, again, like, what does he care if somebody sees him in his undies? Oh, shit. Did we have something on the agenda today? On the agenda? Is K Crimson here? Sorry. I'm looking at the Discord calendar to see if there was a date, because I just got an alert that DJ Kometz is live. But I'm doing this. What am I going to do? I guess we'll just miss it. There we go.
Everyone from the leaves to riding my ATV to working out by the mailbox has all been Mr. Smith approaching me. I'm simply asking the court to consider that I have high blood pressure and this is a dangerous time for me. Having Mr. Smith parade me in front of my family and friends and my neighborhood, and Mrs. Smith going around to all of her friends that she has crumpets and tea with across the fence. I read the papers that she wrote, and they're all very similar. You can tell that she's doctored it to say the same thing.
And they're forwarded. They're
Okay,
not.
so ma'am, I just want, and I should also say,
I'm
Okay,
asking
so
the court.
Mr. Smith, I'll hear from you. You guys have been sworn in, I know, at the last hearing. This is kind of continuation of that.
I wasn't
So,
sworn in, sir. My husband was, but I was not. If
Okay, so I don't think I need to hear from you because I kind of have an idea of what's going to happen here. But go ahead, Mr. Smith.
So I don't know what he was talking about, me videoing him in his underwear. I would never do that. That's not something that I'm interested in doing. All the videos, I hope you were able to review.
Okay, so just, you need to stop. He didn't interrupt you, so you need to treat him with the same amount of respect.
just say why.
Go ahead, Mr. Smith, you may continue.
Instead of all these points, just-
So the reasons I made the videos was to document that Mr. Dean was riding his quad in the backyard. And I hope you were able to review the videos to see that he uses it aggressively when he's unhappy with the neighbor. And they're all videos, they're not stills. So you know, you can see the actions in the videos. And then the mailbox, I also had a recording of that where I just went to get my mail and he addressed me by swearing at me, and then the conversation, I hope you know, I don't need to describe it since the video was on there. The neighbors wrote their own statements. Probably the reason they're similar is because it's the same issues with Mr. Dean throughout the neighborhood. There's no need for us to doctor anything. That is God's honest truth of what everybody said on their own.
God's honest truth, you guys. Listen to me. Can you hear? I'm multitasking. We're recording on one computer. We're working on another. I want crumpets and tea too. Courtney, you are so smart. I love you so much. You always give me the best ideas. Thank you.
So, I mean, if you were able to review the videos, I think that's pretty telling. But, you know, also Mr. Dean drives through our roundabout. And that's something that, you know, like he drives through, watches everybody. There was one time I was in my garage and his vehicle was stopped at the end of my driveway. I looked up and he drove off. He was watching me in my garage. You know, we just want to try to alleviate any comments where I feel threatened to go to the mailbox. I go late at night now when I know he's not around. I don't feel that I should have to be afraid to go to my own mailbox. He's just coincidentally at the end of his driveway. The leaf issue is something that has been ongoing. I think you know about it, but he just blows the leaves under the fence, our shared fence. And just, it's been going on for years, and it's
Under the fence, folks. William, I wasn't even joking, actually. Courtney and I have a symbiotic relationship where her ideas come from my show, my ideas come from her. It reverberates like that, and there's no sarcasm there. That's absolutely true. What the fuck? Don't blow leaves under your neighbor's yard. Also, in America, it is very easy to get rid of things. And D-Man, Christopher very generously has bought me coffee for like the last months, maybe the whole year. And I'm so thankful. I make my Tim Hortons at home, but it's thanks to Christopher and Amazon. Jeff Bezos, I guess. But this guy is such an asshole. Not the good kind. No, I don't. Well, maybe me and Courtney, yes. Hi, music. How are you? I know. You can try. But, you know, a shit disturber, it takes one to know one.
It's just been very frustrating. And then, you know, we'd like to not have him riding his quad around in the backyard. Try to reduce that. And, you know, I mean, it makes dust. We were sick. And one time that the dust came out was when I had commented to him about, you know, riding the quad in such a fashion. But, you know, sometimes he's back there, he goes really fast. But, you know, I think if we could have some of those things reduced or eliminated, I believe that would, you know, benefit us to be able to feel comfortable in our backyard. I don't feel comfortable going outside right now. On October 1st, around noon, I went outside just to go do something in my backyard. He was on his quad. He stood up. He yelled at me, you know, do you want to take my picture? Take my picture, you effing creep.
You want to take my picture? Take my picture, you effing creep. Reseller Road Trip Adventures. Streamlabs was programmed by me. So the person who you're trying to shock is moi. And it's pretty hard to shake me, but I love hearing about freaky shit. Don't get me wrong. It's very hard to shock me. I could shock a lot of people, but I don't want to scare everybody with it.
Is the quote that he said. I didn't even have a phone or a camera in my hand at that time. I feel like he's just lashing out. And then he also called the Thurston County Sheriff, and we spoke with him about 12:30 that day. And then he took both our statements, which I think Mr. Dean has a copy of.
Okay.
That's it, Your Honor.
Turn the copy of the Sheriff's Department into you.
So, again, I heard from you both last week. And Ms. Boring, you had spoke up earlier. Did you wish to say anything further?
I would like
If you're
to
going to
say
raise
that
your
there-
hand, could you raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we do have trees in our backyard, but there's also trees in the green belt. So as far as the leaves go, they can fall in from anywhere, but there's only like less than half an inch gap between the fence and the cement runner. So, you know, is there a few leaves that get through? Maybe, but you know, I don't think that that's what has ever been. And as far as the video, it did unnerve me seeing my husband in his underwear, where his videos that he's posting on here. It was, to me, it was extremely disturbing. And the name calling, you know, he's always yelling him. And there was one other time they were interchanging comments outside, and I stood there, and my husband was driving off, and Mr. Smith stood there for 3 to 5 minutes waiting for him to come back. I witnessed that, but Mr. Smith did see me in the garage. I stood there and I waited for him to leave. And if he was such a good sound neighbor, he would have just gotten in his truck and left.
Ms. Smith, anything you'd like to say at this time?
I
Raise
just,
your right hand, please. You swear and affirm the information you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I just kind of want to reiterate, you know, some of our asks. You know, we just don't want him driving by our house anymore.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Okay, well, he doesn't live on our street. There's really no reason for him to be driving past our house. I will say that with respect to the fence, I was curious about it because it went up before we moved in. So I reached out to the former owners, the people we bought the house from, spoke to him last week, and he confirmed that the fence went in the fall of about 2004, 2005. He worked on it with his friend, and that Russell did help with the fence installation. So I think that constitutes shared fence in every understanding I have of how that works.
Okay.
I just want to clarify.
That's not in front of me either.
I have the receipts at home.
Okay, so here's what's happening today, right? And so both of you have asked for those cross petitions against, oh, there's a hand up over there. Did you have anything additional you wish to say there,
Oh,
Ms.
sorry,
Smith?
no, it just says my hand was raised from when I did the swearing in. That's, I think
All
I
right.
lowered it.
And so, you know, a lot of the, again, there's it's all too common occurrence. People, neighbors who can't come along, who can't get along, and for whatever reason it starts.
So common, beyond common, insane. Could you imagine getting a phone call? You're like, oh shit. This is the phone, it's new. This is the phone I bought a case for, and I just have to pray that until Sunday when the case arrives, I don't break it. The odds are slim. Odds are slim. I'm going to be honest. But we're hopeful. Anyways, can you imagine? I should probably use my other phone as a prop. My one that is now replaced. But anyways, could you imagine you get a phone call? Ring, 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 ring. Hello, who's this? Oh, hi, it's Jennifer Smith calling. I bought your house from you years ago. That dick of a neighbor that you left us with, did you guys build that fence together? Like, can you imagine that phone call? I cannot even imagine. This is why you don't answer unknown numbers. Just crazy. Oh, also, I want to tell you guys that, first of all, reseller, that's great. I love it. We should do a members only where we do Never Have I Ever. That would be fun. But also, in the background, I just heard DJ Kometz talk about the trees again, the down trees at his house.
Then little things become big things, and then the next thing you know, you're in front of a judge asking for a no contact order to keep one person away from the other. Or in this case, you're asking to keep both parties away. Both parties are asking the other person to keep them away from each other. It's always kind of a curious situation. It's like, my first reaction to this is, you both want the same thing. What do you need me for? But you do, because here we are. And so what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to grant orders for both. I'm only going to involve the two I'm going to eliminate Ms. Smith and Ms. Boring from both petitions. And then Mr. Smith and Mr. Dean are going to have orders against each other, essentially. You folks just aren't to talk to each other. You're not to have any, there's not a distance restriction, which means you can still go on any street you're entitled to. You're just not to talk to each other. And, with regard to what this, Mr. Smith, you complain about, well, he drives his ATV in his backyard. You know what? He's entitled to do that. And if he's not, he's entitled to do that. That's all I can say. And maybe it's annoying for you. I don't know if he's intentionally kicking up dust. I don't know that he's doing that or not, but there's just nothing I can do.
You folks have to move to property that does not have close neighbors if you want to dictate what's happening in their backyard. Okay? I lived in the city for a long time. I still live in the city, but I lived in the deep, downtown city, okay? And we lived in that house for 20 years. Do you know the neighbor next to us? I'm fairly positive had 9 or 10 vehicles in the backyard operating some sort of, I don't know, auto something or other. But quietly. Kept to their own business. Didn't take up street parking, parked shit in the backyard. And guess what? We didn't give a fuck what they were doing in their backyard. It wasn't a chop shop. It was they had the guy that lived there worked on cars. And for him and his friends. It wasn't a big operation, but there was stuff going on. And it's fine. The guy across the street, he was outside every single day. And I remember when I was a teenager, when I first lived in that house, I thought, oh, this is so weird. Why is Rick always outside? He's always talking to everybody, But then as I got older and I had a daughter, and he watched out for our house. He watched out for our family. I knew that if my daughter had walked out to the front, that he would be there and would stop her or would, say, where's your mom or something like that. Good neighbors are worth their weight in gold, but bad neighbors are they're killers. They literally can make your life a nightmare. I mean, he was very kind. He used to come over on Christmas morning when she was really young, dressed as Santa, which, first of all, he never discussed with us. He just showed up one Christmas morning, early in the morning. The door knocks, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Who's here on Christmas morning? Nobody. I was unexpected. I didn't know who to expect, And I think my daughter was maybe 3. And there he is, fully decked out in a Santa outfit, and gave her a stuffed animal from the liquor store. You could see, regardless of where it came from, it was just a really sweet little thing, right? And he did that for I think 4 years. And I remember one time, the last time when she was a bit older, she was maybe 6. He came to the door and Santa's here you go, and hands it over. And then he leaves and she closed the door. She goes, Mommy, that's Ricky. And I was like, well, and we had a discussion that day about bringing joy to people and about how Santa works, and that Santa is, she was 7, I think, but we had a discussion about how Santa is the feeling that you get when you give other people gifts on Christmas, and it's not actually about a person, and that once you no longer believe in Santa, it's your job to be Santa in a way and try and make somebody else feel good without worrying about them knowing it was you. And that's how I, transitioned that. She was quite young for that. I believed for a long time because I fucking knew my mom wasn't transitioning into anything else. It was going to be less gifts then.
About that, it'd be impossible to enforce something that says you can't drive your ATVs or can't kick up too much dust. It's private property. He can drive whatever vehicle he wants to, as long as he's not breaking any laws. And as far as I can tell, he isn't. On the other hand, don't blow leaves on the other person's property. I mean, that's going to be annoying. I know, just stop, ma'am. I didn't interrupt you, so come on, let me go. And people made some comments, well, these are God's leaves or God's dust or what have you. I mean, that's just, all that's doing is just stirring up conflict between the two of you. Both of you have threatened, one of you threatened to kick the other person's ass. The other person said, oh gosh, I'm not scared of you, come on over, and all that sort of stuff. So it's been kind of going both ways from where I sit. And it's going to stop now. You guys just can't talk to each other. Do you understand that? This does not include Ms. Smith or Ms. Mooring. You're not included in this order, but just don't talk to each other. And I will say blowing leaves, I would consider blowing leaves and then not engage in stalking behavior also, because that box is checked. Blowing leaves on somebody else's property, I would consider that a violation. Taking videos, put your hand down. Taking video of other people, I would consider that a violation going forward. Do you understand that, Mr. Smith? And so, I mean, there's no reason for you to be taking videos of anyone, either Mr. Dean or the child or anything like that. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I don't.
Anybody have any questions about the parameters of this order? You wanted to say something?
When I was reading are you talking to me?
Yes.
When I was reading the complaint that she made on the restraining order, she was asking for things like mental health evaluations, alcohol evaluations.
Did you hear what I said, what the
Okay.
order entails?
I just wanted to make sure.
And
that
I'm not,
that wasn't
none of that stuff's being ordered.
And I wanted to clarify
Good deal.
too about the fence and the leaves.
Okay.
That's only a half an inch.
Doesn't matter how big it is. If leaves, if you're running a leaf blower and leaves are going on the
I
other
won't do
property, that's a problem.
I won't. do that.
I mean, use a rake when you're near their property line. Don't, if leaf falls from your trees on their property, that happens. But don't actively blow them onto, and it doesn't matter. I mean, if things were reversed and people were blowing stuff onto your yard, even a couple, I'm pretty confident you would find that annoying based on my brief experience with all of you folks.
I would like to say it'd be okay if he wanted to blow out from underneath the fence because I want to keep it from rotting.
He doesn't,
Okay.
I think,
whatever.
again, we're not gonna, it's impossible for me to get out there and police the landscaping between the two of you. But the one thing I can do is just keep you two apart.
Okay.
And that's it for today. If you want, you can get copies of this off the district court website, or if you want copies now, I'll give you, since you're here, you can have copies now.
I do want a copy.
Of the
Thank
copies
you.
of each order. Well, you can thank me by at least not having conflict. I can't, it's
Stay away from
foolish
each
for me
other.
to say get along, because that's not going to happen clearly, but at least avoid conflict. And that's, generally it takes two to tango, and that's certainly what's going on here.
Should we keep going? I think
I
we should
appreciate
keep
the
going.
decision, Your Honor. Having no contact with him will definitely be more comfortable for me. So
And you'll have, you
Even though
can get
it's-
copies of that off the district court website.
right.
Are we done?
I want to know contact order against
Yes,
the
you're free to
judge,
leave.
against the dog.
Okay, thank you
and
so
my
much.
shirt.
Have a good
Once you
day.
get your copies, you're free to go also.
Why shirt? Why?
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Am I waiting to get something from him?
Well, yeah, those your copies there. I thought I heard you. You can stay there for a second. Don't.
Okay.
I thought I heard you say you wanted copies of the
I do,
orders. Yeah,
I do.
then that's what you're waiting for. You don't have to, but.
Is
we'll
this
have it
the
for you.
restraining order?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want.
And sir, you have one against you too. Don't get too high and mighty there. Mark, how are your shoulders? Are you tired? Are you okay? Did you sleep well last night? My Fitbit came off in the middle of the night. Another reason I need the new band. But I did not sleep well last night. Multiple reasons. Oh, judge is complaining about his honey-do list. Folding laundry, oh. Oh. Oh, and now he's going on the treadmill, reminding me I'm going to the gym too, Judge. But elliptical only.
So, Mr. Antonora, you can come on the Zoom call, and then is it Mailing? Am I saying it? Mealing? Come on up. You can sit right there. Give me just a minute here to call your case up.
He can do a 5K. I have to be able to outrun DJ Commands, right? I have to. This woman looks like she's dressed for a Halloween event.
So Ms. Mealing, could you raise your right hand, please? I've reviewed your petition, as well as a letter in there. Do you swear and affirm the information testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. How is it that you need an order against Mr. Antonora?
He has a hard time taking authority from our company. When he is talked to, he tends to walk right through any kind of disciplinary and does what he wants. He's hit me in the back.
Hold on. Was she just saying he hit me? Because I was just about to say, ma'am, you fire him. Okay? I don't know what kind of company you work for, but this is not something you come to court for. You just fire him. And then that's that. I've never heard. Did she say that? Our company? She did. What is going on here? Is this an HR issue? Also, if he hit her in HR, that seems like, I mean, you could even be in a union and probably get let go if you hit the lady from HR.
Not the truth?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. How is it that you need an order against Mr. Antonora?
He has a hard time taking authority from our company. When he is talked to, he tends to walk right through any kind of disciplinary and does what he wants. He's hit me in the back room, and when we have interaction, when I go to the freezer, he constantly has to be back there. When I'm back there, he hit me with a U-boat just recently, ramming it into the freezer door, knocking me back pretty hard.
Have you talked to him about this, or management?
Management, yes.
What have they said?
Management, it falls under, I have some statements I'd like you to see.
Okay, so go ahead. Have you seen those, Mr. Antonora?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So what do those statements say? And then
In regards to issues falling.
I'll just tell you right now, here's the thing, if this is real and this happened, she has a case against her work. They can't ignore that. Especially if it's a criminal act, they'd have to call the police. Can you imagine the gossip in the office today? What's her face and what's his face are at their court hearing today. Like, what? Did they date? It seems to me that the company is opening themselves up for a lot of liability in this case, and she's probably making herself not in a very good position. He neither, but again, I thought isn't most of America like a at will, what is it called? At will employment? So they can get rid of you at will as well?
On deaf ears with the company, things being swept under the rug with him. Not just me.
okay, what specifically, again, just specifically, what is he doing that you need an order? I heard about the U-boat. Explain to me what a U-boat is.
We put product on it, like our heavy items, and we
Okay.
push them
So
through.
just a cart, basically. And you pushed the door. Okay, what else?
It originally started with a parking lot issue that he had to have, that I had taken for years that I had been at that store. When he found out that I was taking that spot, he told my immediate supervisor that I can come say good morning to him if I wanted it back and asked for it back. That's what, the more I stayed away from Mark, the more he wanted more attention. It was constant. My store manager told him to stop inserting himself into my life. She wants nothing to do with you. This just fueled the fire more.
And so what did he do after that, after she said, leave you alone?
My car has been knifed. Mark runs a knife sharpening operation out of his vehicle in the parking lot.
Knife, what do you mean knifed?
Like, I believe like home butcher knives.
I know, but I mean, what?
Customer,
I know what keying a car is. I'm wondering.
There was a police report filed. Somebody had a pretty sharp knife to take to my bumper.
And was it just like a scratch or?
There was a pretty good large pattern carved into the bumper.
What was the pattern?
Whole bunch of V's or W's.
Okay. All right. And then what's happening around the job site there? Again, in addition to the things you've said.
Even though he's told to stay away from me, he loves to come into my department and wave in my face or smile at me. He waits into my department. I've taken pictures of him and send them to coworkers. Here he is again waiting for me so he can follow me out into the parking lot. Coworkers, kind of find it funny, but I'll snap a picture and send it to him just in case I don't make it home. He is standing here again. He refers to me as some pretty choice words to other coworkers, which I have in statements also.
What is he? Again, we're in court. We're adults here. You can say what he said.
Oh, he loves to call me a bitch. He loves to call me crazy. He has quite the vocabulary with many females in the store.
Let me hear from him, and I may have some questions for you in a minute. Did you want to file that stuff?
Could I give it to you?
Yeah. And if you give it to me, then it's not coming back. It's going to go into the court file. And then, I'm going to tell you what I have. I have a statement from Andrea, Muehe. I'm not sure how to say that. Stephen Geiger, and then Louis Aller. And those are statements, and I haven't read. I may read them in a minute, and then I'll tell you what I read and then give you a chance to respond. But for now, could you raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. What's your response to what you've heard?
They're all basically false allegations. I really don't have any contact with her at all. I've never go into her department when she's over there. She referring to the 2 years ago when I started working there, I started parking in the spot. She didn't like it because it was her spot. And to be honest, I don't even park in that spot anymore. It's very childish behavior. I have a knife sharpening business. I don't carry any knives with me. I don't sharpen in the parking lot. I've never, these are all false allegations. The incident with the freezer, I've been there 2 years. She walks by department every time. She claims I don't like women. I have women that I work with that we have a inner store communication that they appreciate my working with me and they like me. And the three people that she's talking about, Andrea, which I barely know, she works in the pharmacy. It's her friend, and I've maybe said one word to her. I went to the pharmacy one time to help out to get some cough drops, and she was rude to me, told me to get in line. There was no one there, and I found out it's Alana's friend, and we don't have any communication at all. And I don't know whatever Stephen wrote. Stephen, I don't know. And then Louis is a disgruntled employee that worked in the meat department with us. And I've talked to numerous people in that store. She has a history of this stuff, of filing sexual harassment suits against people. She did 3 people in the meat department alone before I got there. I only have 6 months left to retire, and I'm just trying to get through this. I try to avoid her as much as I can because I knew she was trouble from the very beginning with the parking lot incident, because we don't have assigned parking. Her husband came into the parking lot and called me names and told me I was a jerk for parking in her spot. She's there's
He's
Google.
right back here, so if I can hear from him too.
Okay, from who?
I said, no, her husband is in court in the back. You
Yeah,
may not be able to see him.
definitely. Yeah, he came in and hassled me in the parking lot. She's taking pictures of me. I just found that out not too recent ago. Like, where am I following her? It's like I have no reason. Or I lost my train of thought. I don't know.
So if you had any, I mean, what she said, she's talked to management about this. Has management ever talked to you about this?
They told me, because the freezer we both use, the freezer, they said, try to stay away from her, Mark. And there's been times where I've been in the freezer and she's come in there and vice versa. It's just, we both use that freezer. I've never had any contact with her. And the incident with that triggered her to do this was, I was just trying to go into the freezer door with my cart before it shut, because that thing is a huge door and it's very heavy, and I was just trying to get in there so I didn't have to stop my cart. And she claimed that I knocked the wind out of her, I hit her, and the door, she popped out behind it when the door stopped, and I said, "Oh, sorry." And she goes, "You're coming in kind of hard." I said, "I'm sorry," and that was the end of it. She's just made all this stuff. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. There was an employee there about 8 months ago that was online looking for reviews about her, because she does pickup at our store. And she found a review of me, and she goes, "Mark, this is not you. What is this?" And I'm like, "I don't know, whatever." And then her immediate supervisor, manager, I asked, I go, "Who is it about?" It was a few months later. I said, "Who is this person online?" Mason. And, "Oh, that's Lana's son. He wrote a review about me, which was a lie. He doesn't even shop in there. He's just a kid." And I went back to check. I screen capped him too. I have it. Then she did another review about 2 months ago, under the same name, but it was a different icon. And they're the same person, because they both have reviews of Laughlin or wherever they go, Bullhead City or wherever they go. But quite the contrary, she's been harassing me, but I just try to steer clear of her, Your Honor, because I know that she's nothing for trouble, because she has a history of filing. She was going to sue a supervisor in this store that comes in. People stay away from her because they're scared of her. Management, the only thing they talked to me about was just try to stay away from her, Mark. They've done nothing to me because I've done nothing wrong, Your Honor. And I just
hang on just a minute.
Okay.
Her story came out real easy when I think back on it, but I think 6 months left on his job until retirement, I can understand why he's just crying.
Okay. Anything further there, Mr. Antonora?
Nothing I can think of at the moment.
When did you get served with this?
Friday. Had just left work, and
No, he didn't. It was last Monday.
and would you let me speak, please? Friday, I was at work and I had left, and the police came, and my manager called me, and I talked to the police, and I told them I would pick it up Monday on the way into work, because I didn't want them here at work making a scene.
Monday a week ago?
Yeah. Yes.
And then this is all at QFC, right?
Correct.
They know about this?
I've tried to keep them updated and informed as much as.
QFC, is that like the Queen's Fried Chicken? No, I know it's quality food something or other, and it's a co-op maybe. I don't know. It's a grocery store. It sounds like. I'm a little weirded out that nothing happened at work. It's just, in my experience, HR is very quick. Like, they would switch stores or something like that. Don't mention chicken. I want chicken now. God damn it. I keep on wanting to raise my hand when Judge Kometz is saying it too.
Possible.
Anybody talk to you about this, Mr. Antonora?
About this current situation.
Yeah, about this order. There's an order in place right now.
I told them about it. Yeah, and they know about it. Yeah, they've reviewed it. They know about the incident where her husband came to the parking lot to harass me. I don't have any other information about what, but I've talked to the people, and she's done this before many a times. And I'm just, I'm trying to steer clear of her because it's happened to me now. I'm another, whatever.
So what's your position on, and I'm gonna tell me specifically what happened with her husband in the parking lot, then I'll bring you up, sir.
He come driving up to me one day. I'd only been in this working, so it's 2 years ago, almost to the day. And he came and rolled down his window. He goes, "You're a jerk. That's my wife's parking spot. She's been parking there for 16 years. I go, "We don't have any assigned parking here." So, and I never, any vulgarity at them, nothing. And that was it. And then I pretty much stayed away from them as much as I could because he comes, picks her up for lunch and stuff sometimes. And I have you can look at the QFC Google reviews, and she's made lies and about her coming and asking for customer service, and it's just,
You can take a seat there.
yep, there's no validity to any of those allegations.
So much about me.
And, okay, could you raise your right hand?
Yep.
Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yep.
You can put your hand down. What's your version of what happened in the parking
So
lot?
in the parking lot, I drove in and I nicely said, "Can you not park in my wife's spot? Why do you have to cause trouble?" And this gentleman started throwing himself around the parking lot, arms in the air, swearing and yelling. And I just rolled down the window, thought, he's crazy, I'm gonna drive off.
And how long ago did this happen?
Probably 2 years ago. And my wife comes home upset because she's been followed in.
First of all, if my partner showed up at my job to complain to somebody I worked with about something I talked about at home, I would be fucking livid. Absolutely livid. I think it's inappropriate for spouses to show up at workplaces without notice, especially to cause fucking trouble. That in itself is enough to get her in trouble. Like, there's no assigned parking. Deal with it! These fucking people. I swear to God.
The parking lot, which she has statements. I just want her left alone. She just wants to go to work and do her job. And he has waited out the door for her. She's taking pictures and stuff.
Okay, I just want to know about the parking.
Yeah, so that's it. He just started throwing himself around.
Okay. So go ahead. I'll come back to you, ma'am. Tell me about, again, the waiting outside the door, the following around. What's that all
That
about?
was just actually this started recently over the summer. It started in June. I started sending the pictures to Lacey Police. They put it in as evidence. It was, I don't know if it's a form of intimidation, showing me that he can do what he wants, but he would just stand, Starbucks is in the bakery area, and he'd stand there and just wait, and employees recognized it. At first it was like this.
Do you work at the Starbucks area?
I don't, I'm the cake decorator.
Okay. Keep going.
We just kind of, at first we thought, oh, here he is again, standing waiting. And then when I would clock off, I would come back and he would come out with me. And it became a pattern, I think, until he caught me taking a picture of him.
I never caught her.
What's your response to that, Mr. Antonora?
Never caught her. I'm clueless of where she came. There's a Starbucks that opened about 6 months ago, and I do talk to the Starbucks barista there. I forgot his name, but By what means? Why would I wait for her? And I've never walked out with her.
I'm wondering the same thing.
Yeah, it's like it's like there's no to no means. I've never followed her to her car. I never. I go in and out to lunch. I'm out of there. Time to go home. I'm gone. I'm out of there. I do not hang around that place. I got, like I said, Leon, I got 5 months left to serve, and I'm done. And it's like I said, she's got a history, and I'm her latest victim.
I don't know what he's talking about.
What, you
all
can
these
respond to that.
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know why he knows so much about me. I don't know why he thinks he knows so much about me. I don't know where all this is coming from, where he thinks he's getting it, where he said there was 3 people in the seafood department that I've had
Filed sexual harassment claim against.
sexual harassment. I never had one. So I don't know where he's.
So you're saying you haven't made any complaints of sexual harassment?
In the seafood department, no. There was
Department.
one who.
Just be quiet, Mr. Antonelli.
There was one gentleman who was in the deli and he was fired for alcohol on the job. It was nothing to do with me. He touched me inappropriately and they gave him a second chance. And he was fired for drinking.
So Mr. Antonori, anything you'd like to say?
No, thank you. I don't.
How long ago was that, ma'am?
5, 6 years ago.
All right. Give me a second here.
This has got to be a union job. It has to be. I'm leaning towards no order. Judge is thinking about this one. It's not about leaves or offense. It's a little more serious. Again, seems to be an HR issue. If HR isn't willing
How
to
many
do
complaints have you made to management about this?
We've had a handful of verbal conversations and 3 documentations.
I see. How long have you worked there, Mr. Antonora?
2 years.
How long have you worked there?
With QFC, 27 years.
Got it.
27 years.
All right, so here's what's going to happen today. There, you say you have, you're going to be, you said 6 months, then you said 5 months.
Yeah, less than 5 months.
Welcome back, neighbor. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna give a 6-month order? I think he's gonna do a 6-month order. He's gonna break the mold, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking the mold. Oh, you said oh. Oh, it says oh. Why won't the chat work? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, here it comes. Oh no, it's way backed up. That's what she said. I think she's worked there for 27 years and she's a cake decorator. There's been some intense cake gate going on TikTok for a while. There we go. There we go. There it is. It arrived finally. Thank you. 4 months. Well, they've been doing it. There's a temporary in place and they've been doing it. It must be a big grocery store. Hi, Sallyport. senior cakes. They're shit.
And I'm gone.
So,
Erica points this out. That's a long time for someone to work somewhere, yes, but it also, to me, like if a 27-year employee came to me with a problem, like that they felt the need to go to fucking get a TPO about a colleague, I would listen to that employee. You know, that amount of service carries with it some value, and the fact that they didn't choke on your own words, Paisley. Maybe that's telling me something. Maybe that means that but see, the fact that they've kept employees for so long tells me that they might have decent management, or they might be a union shop. There might be a bad manager there now, but in reality, it just seems like that leans towards them not taking it very seriously. You know? Also, yeah, is the grocery stores where I go grocery shopping have cameras everywhere. You know? Don't they have cameras?
how's he been lately in terms of waiting for you and so forth?
Since the protection order, I have seen hardly anything of him. But honestly, there's a pattern of him getting his hand slapped and him being, it's hard for him to control himself.
So here's what's going to happen here today there, Mr. Antonora, Ms. Mealing. You know, these orders, you know, it's not uncommon for folks to have to come to court. And then I'll hear frequently when I hear these, there are two different versions of the same set of facts. Unlawful harassment is defined as a knowing and willful course of conduct directed at a specific person that seriously alarms, annoys, harasses, or is detrimental to such person and serves no legitimate or lawful purpose. Course of conduct is defined as a pattern of conduct composed of a series of acts over a period of time, however short, evidencing continuity of purpose means. And so, again, a lot of times, frequently, there's two different versions of what went on out there. I kind of have to listen and see what makes sense and assess credibility and so forth, and act accordingly. You know, I reviewed the petition and the statement. I've heard the testimony of both parties. And based on all that, I'll find that there's enough credible evidence where I'm going to enter an order. It's not going to have a distance restriction. I'm going to put the same language in there that was in there before, that you're just not to have contact with her. You're not, and you're not to have any contact with her while you're at work. And that means, you're saying, why would I wait for her? Yeah, that's a good question. And, it could be that you're doing that to annoy someone, which falls within the definition of harassment. So
Never done that,
the
Your
order's
Honor.
going to get entered, and then that's what's going to happen here today. It'll be in place for, the default is 1 year, but you'll be gone. And if what you say actually happens and you're leaving there in between 5 and 6 months, then this will become a non-issue at that point. You wanted to say something?
Can we add, no, not to come around our house, not that he has, but I don't
What's
want
that?
anybody or her car.
Yeah, he's just not going to have any contact with her.
Okay.
Coming to your house would be contact. Would that be considered a violation?
Okay.
Do you understand the parameters of this order there, Mr. Antonora?
Yes.
All right. And that's it for today.
can I ask you, Your Honor? So
Yes,
we've worked together for 2 years,
right?
and she's, I know you made your decision already. She's walked by my department every day she's worked there. You know, I mean, if there was any type of harassment, she always, and I've never made any contact with her. It's just, it's just, I don't want this to look bad on me because I only have, like I said, only have 5 months left with the company. So how are we going to work together? You know, what is it?
Well, you're just not to.
We don't work together.
I understand if you work in the meat department, she works in the
bakery.
In the decorating department, you just
Yeah.
stay out of each other's apartment.
Okay.
I'm
So-
pretty confident she wants to stay away from you. And so
Yeah.
you need to stay away from her. And if she's in the refrigerator, whatever that is, and she's in there, you just want to have to wait for her to leave and then go in there when
Fine.
she's gone.
No
That would
problem.
be what I would say.
Yeah, I have
Not go,
I
if you're there,
I
just
don't
turn
want-
around and go away.
I've never
I-
wanted any
I'm
contact.
not
with
making a finding with regard to that, with regard to that knife incident. I can't make any finding. Maybe that thing with the U-boat was an accident, but I think there's sufficient in terms of the evidence you say that there's sufficient of it. Again, you're just, again, if she's there, come away. And you need, to be fair, you need to stay out of his department too. But I can't imagine why a cake decorator needs to go to the meat department. But anyway, that's what we're doing here today. And if you want to wait, you get a
No
copy
problem
of it.
staying with you, Your Honor.
And that'll be it for today. You can
Thank
get a
you.
copy of it off the district court website there, Mr. Antonora.
Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Imagine this, folks. The drama of my disappearing shirt, and your grocery store could be having intense drama as well. We don't know. I think they're like pallet jacks. I actually think that's what she's talking about, a pallet jack that you move heavy items on, but it has like a handle with it, and it's shaped like a U because you slip it into the pallet. That's my theory on it. But I hope that you guys had a wonderful day. We shall be back tonight. We will be back we'll see what happens. There might be another case here. I'm not going to watch it now. But I also got some Judge Komet stuff and some Judge Braun like earlier today already. I'm going to go to the gym. DJ Komet, oh my God, I'm disappearing. DJ Komet's over there telling us that it'll probably be a 6 o'clock, Vicky. So 9 p.m. East. And please, my friends everywhere, please be safe. Listen to the weather. People, be safe. And check in with us. I hope that you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. Like I said, I'm off to the gym, even though it's raining, even though I'm going to walk 4 kilometers in the rain. I'm going to the gym. Oh, all right. I love you guys so much. Remember that. I love you. I'm proud of you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Ways down and ready to ride.